had a tornado warning issued. It's from a system that's just come ashore near Ocean Isle Beach. I'm going to go ahead and read this statement. From the National Weather Service, a confirmed waterspout was located just offshore near Seaside or near Ocean Isle Beach, and this is moving north at 15 miles per hour. 15 miles per hour. And again, this is again at 5:24. So this tornado warning is actually going to be in effect for south central Brunswick County. And again, it is in effect until 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. We've been tracking this waterspout. It was a confirmed waterspout that was actually located off of Myrtle Beach. And there were actually some video of that particular waterspout. And we've been tracking this particular storm here as it makes its way off to the north. And we've got, I think we're going to have the graphics here coming up here in just a second here, and we should be able to see that. Which storm system, which max are we on right now? There we go. Okay, max 1. Okay, so we've just switched over to, okay, this is max 1. There you can see it's a very small area. You can see it's right near Ocean Isle Beach. And again, we're going to go ahead and really zoom on in if we can to this particular storm. But again, it's a system that we've been tracking off of Myrtle Beach. It's been moving off to the northeast, and we can also hopefully in a minute be able to pull up a camera for you here and see if we're actually able to see this. Visibility is pretty low right now down around Ocean Isle Beach, but again, tornado warning in effect, and it's a very small area you can see right around Ocean Isle Beach. And again, this tornado warning is in effect until 6 p.m. Ella, I'm going to have you zoom in here if you can for a second, just to kind of give folks a sense of where this tornado warning is. And again, you can see as we go ahead and zoom on in here, just want to show you folks some areas that are officially in the tornado warning. It's mainly the Ocean Isle Beach area. But again, just to give you a sense of some of the roads, we've got Gore's Landing Road southwest. You can also see Brick Landing Boulevard. And I'm going to go ahead and move on over here to my other show here just to kind of give us a sense of where we are. And again, we're going to go ahead and take a look again at the tornado warning area. Again, Ocean Isle Beach, southern, very small portion of Brunswick County here under this particular tornado warning. And as I said, it started off around the Myrtle Beach area. And again, look how small this area is. Again, very, very small. But again, Ocean Isle Beach, it does not include Charlotte right now. But again, extends a little bit further to the east. You can see does not include Holden Beach right now, so we're just really talking about this very specific area around the tornado, around the Ocean Isle Beach area. As we go ahead and zoom on out here, we're going to go ahead and take a look again. Ocean Isle Beach affects about 530 people, maybe a little bit more with the population of the area here. And again, just to show you some of the roads here that we're talking about, again, you can see the Highway 179 area. Again, any of these roads in and around Ocean Isle Beach affected. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the camera. I want to see if we can actually see this storm here. That's actually Whiteville right now. If we could go ahead and pull up Ocean Isle Beach, we'll be able to see that we've been watching the visibility here. I don't know if we're able to pull up the camera yet. And again, there it is right now. Ella, I'm not able to see anything right now. Again, I can kind of see the storm there offshore. I don't see any rotation at the moment, but I have to say the visibility is very low right now. That may be one of the issues. You don't want to actually step outside and try to look for this waterspout coming in because visibility is extremely low right now around the Ocean Isle Beach. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and take a look again at the excuse me, at the radar here. And again, jump in, Elle, if you've got anything to add here.
I was just going to say, we saw this theme when we were just talking about this cell a few minutes ago, that there's low visibility with it, and that's what we're continuing to see. These are heavy cells, heavy downpours with these systems, so you're not going to be able to go outside and see it. The best thing that you're going to want to do if you're in that tornado warning is to get to your safe place. That's going to be on the lowest level of your home or a sturdy building, and in the most interior room. Make sure you're getting away from windows as well.
And again, you can see that cell definitely starting to come ashore right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the velocity image here and see if we can get a little better detail of the rotation here. Try to do a storm track on this particular storm cell. Again, it is moving northeast at 15 miles per hour. And as we go ahead and zoom on over here, we'll take a look at the storm cell. Again, coming ashore here. And there, again, we've been noticing a little bit of rotation. Again, there you can kind of see it's kind of broad rotation, but nevertheless, again, we have had. Was this a confirmed? Yes, it was a confirmed water spout. So this is a confirmed water spout. This is not necessarily just radar indicated. This is a confirmed water spout that was seen. And again, I'll circle the broad rotation for you. And again, here it is right here. And the storm is, I believe, moving off northeast. Is it 15 miles per hour? So if we do a storm track here again, and again, I'm sure you will see Ocean Isle Beach again right here.
And this warning lasts until 6 o'clock.
6 p.m.
Yep,
so again,
6 p.m.
Again, just some of the areas that could be impacted here. You can see Ocean Isle Beach. Again, if you're in any of these areas, you need to go ahead and we'll go ahead and show you specifically what to do. But obviously, you need to move into an interior room right now. Get away from windows, lowest floor. Away from windows. We've got Odell Williamson. Gabe, you're not mic'd up quite yet. You're getting there? Yeah. Okay, if he wants to jump in and say a few things, I'll let him here in a minute. But Jimmy Branch Church, again, these are just some of the things we see on the storm track right here. Mark Carmel Church, Village Point Church. Again, this tornado warning in effect until 6 p.m. As, again, this is a water spout, which we've been watching offshore that is possibly coming ashore right now in the Ocean Isle Beach area.
I was just going to say, Eric, that we have been watching this water spout really since it was offshore of Myrtle Beach. They had a confirmed water spout. It was under a special marine warning, and we've just seen that warning extended as that system progresses northeast, and it's moving quite slowly at 15 miles per hour and now likely moving onshore. So if you're in the warning zone, Ocean Isle Beach, Holden Beach, really make sure to take cover now. Make sure you're getting to that interior room on the lowest level away from windows, and that's going to be the key, away from windows.
Exactly. We've got a diagram here for you just to show you. Again, move towards the center of your house. Again, lowest level, very important, lowest level. If you can, cover up your head. I don't think we have anything new information on this right now, but as we said at last report, this is a confirmed tornado. Can we go back? I don't have this in my show right now, but can we go back? Are we able to pull up the Ocean Isle camera? We're going to want to check this probably ever so often just in case. Are we able to see anything? I'm trying to look up close here. Can't say I'm seeing anything specific. Do you see a good rain shaft there for sure, but I don't really see a water spout at the moment, but we're panning right now just to see if in fact we can actually see this particular water spout. Let's slowly go back in the other direction here just to kind of see. Again, visibility not great right now at Ocean Isle Beach, so really do not try to get outside. Do not try to view this. Get to your safe space. That's what you want to do right now. You do not want to try to get outside and view this water spout that could very well be coming ashore somewhere in the vicinity of Ocean Isle Beach. Remember, tornado warning in effect. Remember, a water spout is essentially a tornado over water. So it's a water spout as long as it's out over water, but the minute it tries to come onto land, that's when it becomes a tornado. And obviously, that's when we're really concerned about the damage. Again, I'm not seeing a water spout at this point. I am seeing a good range. It could, that very well. That's probably where it would be. If it would probably be in that, we just can't see it right now, just because of the rain. It could be what we call rain wrapped, very hard to see, and that oftentimes is the issue with tropical systems. You're actually trying to view a tornado. This is obviously what we call a very high precipitation cell right now, so visibility does tend to be very low in those very high precipitation cells. Is there anything you wanted to say, Gabe?
Yeah, I'm on mic 3 if the control room can hear me. Hopefully they can. But based on what I'm seeing thus far, the rotation is a little looser, but I would say at this point the center of that rotation, at this point just now coming on to land. So spots between 2nd, 3rd Street, Charlotte Boulevard. This area, if you are not hunkered down now, this is the spot you need to be hunkered down in as part of this cell. There we go. I can just hear the mic pop on. So as I was saying, if you couldn't hear that earlier, it looks like the center of this rotation, and I'm on max 2 control room if you want to pop over to that as we're driving the ship here, between 2nd and basically 2nd, 3rd, and East 1st Street is where this rotation would be right now. So spots near Shallotte Boulevard, Landing Boulevard, Southwest. You're likely getting pummeled right now with a good amount of rain. So as we're zooming in here, kind of that street level view, especially those who live.
Can we move to max 2? Would that be a possibility there? Yes.
Yeah,
max
there
2,
we go.
yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So these are the spots we're talking about. I'm zoomed in real close. So we're getting like a pixel by pixel view here. As we look between 2nd Street and East 1st Street. You can see all that running basically east to west. So that's where the core of this rotation is on the last scan. So spots like Landing Boulevard, Shallotte Boulevard. As we zoom in here and get kind of the street level view, what do we got? Gore's Landing Road Southwest on here as well. These are all spots that are getting likely inundated with rain. I think Gore's Landing, based on the way the rotation is, maybe just a little bit to the west. But still, and it looks like we're getting a new scan in here, so that'll be downloading
as you said,
momentarily.
Gabe, it does look like the rotation has loosened up some compared to what we were seeing a little bit further offshore. Not to say we're in the clear by any stretch of the imagination, but that's a trend we would like to continue to see.
Precisely. Okay, it looks like we just got that new scan. Yeah, it's the rotation, the area I would say of interest, and correct me if I'm wrong if you guys are seeing something else. That area of rotation would have now moved on land. It is a little looser, but still, the reason this triggered as a warning is we had a water spout that has now moved to shore. So this is observed. So this is not something that's just strictly radar indicated. We got eyes on the ground that are determining all this.
There is another area of looser rotation. It looks like just off the coast. I'm noting.
Yeah,
too.
there's that as well.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. That's it looks like kind of on the east side of Ocean Isle Beach, just offshore. But again, that's fairly loose at this point.
So as we looked at the camera there a moment ago, what we saw offshore there, folks, would not have been where that system was, because Gabe, you're talking about this might already have moving on shore, right?
Correct. And remember, we get a new radar scan and velocity scan every 90 to 120 seconds, every minute and a half to 2 minutes. So that's why we try to give as much lead time in this as possible in case the data is delayed here. Regardless, folks in OIB, heading up toward, if we look at the screen, maybe even the monogram community, should this rotation hold together, that would be something to watch out for. Pretty much interests in and along Route 17B, the business route, if you will, and south between Holden Beach. I'd be keeping an eye on this as well, although the areas of interest are really widely to the west. This is the big focal point here at this point. Is there anything new in chat? Has the Weather Service chimed in here?
No, they have not.
No additional details to share with you at this point?
At this point, now, yeah, they issued the warning at 5:25, so that was about 15 minutes ago. So we probably would see an update here fairly soon.
Yep.
And again, just to reiterate, Gabe, this is if we go back to max 1 here just for a moment, this is a very small area, this tornado warning. It's really kind of centered. If we go back to max 1 here just for a second here, we can show you that this is really centered right around Ocean Isle Beach. Again, it does not include Holden Beach, does not include Shallotte, although some areas just to the north of Ocean Isle Beach are included in the warning area. So again, right along the highway here, you can see there is, in fact, that is where the warning is. And again, want to emphasize that this is right now technically in effect until 6 o'clock this evening. And again, we want to emphasize that if you haven't done so, if you're in this tornado warning area, if you're in and around Ocean Isle Beach, as we said, we're hopeful that the rotation is loosening up, but it's very important to not go outside and try to view this potential water spout coming ashore, which probably would be ashore at this point, but you need to go ahead and get in your safe space. That's what you need to do right now. Get to that bottom floor, get to an interior room. Ella, do you want to say anything?
Just make sure to also cover your head whenever you are hunkering down in your safe place. Also, make sure to turn up the volume to your TV and have your WECT First Alert Weather app with you.
And yeah, let me chime in here real quick. Those that are watching us on the WECT weather app and on streaming services per se, as you're listening to this, the information here is about a minute delayed just because of the way internet processing and everything works. So if you are able to get to a television or perhaps turn on the radio, one of our Cumulus stations and partners there will be broadcasting this radio signal, mind you. But it's important to make sure you're having as close to real-time updates as possible. And broadcast TV, perhaps cable or satellite, will help, assuming you don't have any weather interference there on the satellite side of things. Because again, if we're talking about something that's held together, we want to make sure that you're getting the latest information possible. So I want to give you that little bit of a caveat.
Yeah.
Ken,
one?
if we need to jump in here.
Yeah.
We've got a new update here,
Okay.
and this is a kind of a new tornado warning just issued. In fact, I think I'll go ahead. Yes, this is a new tornado.
Yeah.
It's the same area. I think it's that loose rotation that we were watching offshore. They've just issued a tornado warning on that. It confirmed. I'll go ahead and read the warning right here while my map is loading up here. At 5:39, a confirmed waterspout was located just offshore near Ocean Isle Beach. This is moving northeast at 20 miles per hour, and the tornado will be near Holden Beach. So Holden Beach is going to be now included in this warning. Let me go ahead and load up the map here, and we'll go ahead and show you that here. This new tornado warning. So this is on top of the warning that we just saw. This one is in effect until. Let's see, I'm sorry.
6:15.
6:15.
Yeah.
6:15 on that one here. My map is a little slow.
Can we
go ahead and pop up?
Let's go to max 2 if
Go
you
to
don't
max 2
mind.
if we can.
And control room, if you have control of the camera, could I have you pan to the left? Because we got some low hangers there, and this would be we're looking at the vantage point here from the OIB
that's
end,
better
so we're going to be
visibility.
looking into town. But let's see if we can pan a little more here to the
left. I think.
To
I
the
think we want
left.
to pan left if we can.
Hang
as far
on
as
one
we can.
second, and let me reload this image here and just get the latest stream here as it comes up here. Again, this is from our First Alert Skycam. All right, you got on delegate. Okay, so we got some rain shafting there. I mean, you can see the clouds kind of dipping a little bit, so it's very broad rotation. I'm not seeing anything here, at least trying to, passing the eyeball test here that's indicative of, oh, I see a funnel or anything else. Chime in if I'm missing something here, of course. But this is likely a part of that warned cell.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
And if we can load up max 1 here just for a minute, I can show you the new tornado warning. We probably need to give folks an idea of where the new tornado warning is. And this one does include Holden Beach. So Holden Beach, Varmintown included in this warning. You can see the highway up
Right
towards
here.
Fulford right here.
Yeah.
So these areas now under a tornado warning. So again, this is a second tornado warning. We have 2 tornado warnings. The first one, of course, for Ocean Isle Beach. This new tornado warning, including Holden Beach. And even if you're around Oak Island, probably a good idea to take cover right now, as it does look like this potential cell is moving to the northeast at about 20 miles per hour. We'll go ahead and take a look at the velocity here just to kind of see what we're seeing with this new tornado warning just issued by the National Weather Service. By the way, Gabe, if you happen to see anything on that camera, please let me know. We'll jump right in.
Sure.
If you happen to see anything. But
rotating.
as we go ahead and take a look, remember, tornado warning, Ocean Isle Beach, essentially until 6 o'clock. We've got Holden Beach under a tornado warning now. That's going to be until 6:15 with that second tornado warning. We'll go ahead and zoom on out here.
Real quick, Eric. Sorry, if I
And
could
yeah,
just
we are
ask
seeing, and I got to tell you, Gabe, we are seeing some stronger rotation with that one. Right here, you can see, I'll go ahead and circle it for you.
Sure.
Right here, it looks like we've got some pretty strong rotation. So yeah, if you look
Right here.
east of Ocean Isle Beach, it looks like right between Ocean Isle Beach and Holden Beach, that's probably where we're seeing the strongest rotation right now. And I'll go ahead and do a storm track here just to give us a sense.
Could I ask the control room, can we do like 2 boxes next to each other so we can keep the radar up, but also keep an eye on this Ocean Isle Beach cam if someone back
mean
there
storm right
yeah,
there.
it absolutely is. And this is why it's important when these warnings are issued, even though you might visibly not see something, it's a warning, right? So it's imminent, something could develop or certainly be dumping, worse impacts in terms of gusty winds, torrential downpours. So that's why you need to be hunkered into your safe space at this point. So control room's going to work on getting that visual for us. Eric, give us the latest timing here.
Yeah, I got a storm track for you. We've got 5:58. The storm will be near Holden Beach. And then here's some other landmarks that could be very important. Secession, 6:01. Ocean View Church, 6:02. Holden Beach Marina, 6:04. So you don't have a lot of time to go ahead and take cover now. As we've been mentioning, go get to that interior room. You want to get on the lowest floor, cover your head, get away from windows. And as I said, you had something you wanted to add.
Oh yeah,
Gabe?
no, I want to position this rotation here because I realize we have that lower third up with all of the warnings and stuff on there.
that's
So I want to get that area
that's
rotation there.
good call
just
there,
right in the
Gabe.
middle of the
I'm
screen.
going to widen this out just
Yes.
a little bit here.
Thank you.
And show you the storm track here. Right here again. This is the rotation right here that we're seeing, kind of between Ocean Isle Beach and Holden Beach, and it does look fairly strong at this point. So we're obviously going to be sticking with this. And as we go ahead and take a look at the storm track here. Again, you might not be able to see the complete storm trap, but again, just these are some of the Varmantown 609. That's an important one. Zion Hill Church, Lennon Crossroads 618. So these are all in the path of the storm. Remember, the tornado warning itself is in effect until 6:05 this evening. And again, just a reminder that you want to go ahead and move to an interior room. And Ella, if you wanted to say anything, please feel free to jump in.
I was going to say, Eric, we typically don't see basements in this area.
No, we don't.
It's important just to get to the lowest level of a sturdy building in the most interior room. Make sure you are covering your head and your neck. You can do so with your hands.
Yeah.
A bathtub is a great place to take cover as well. And make sure you are staying away from...
We may have something on. If we could go to max 2, I think we may have something. I don't know. I don't know if we can say for sure there's a water spout. We're definitely seeing some rotation there. That is for sure a wall cloud. It looks like something maybe trying to move down from that base.
Yeah.
So this we're basically looking at Ocean Isle Beach. We're kind of looking off to the east right now.
We actually just had a caller into the newsroom who said that he saw a water spout about 2.5 miles from the Oak Island coast. So that could verify here, but again, it's an unconfirmed report, just a tip that we had received in the newsroom. So I wanted to clarify that for us here, or at least just try to get some additional ground truth observations here as we're working to get some additional details, of course, in from the National Weather Service, storm spotters, as that will actively come in. But if you're just tuning in, again, it is 5:46, and we are under an active tornado warning, actually technically under 2 active tornado warnings for some offshore water spouts, at least one offshore water spout confirmed there until 6 and 6:15. So if you are along the Brunswick County coast between OIB and Holden Beach, you should be in your safe space. And control room, real quick, thank you guys for the double boxes there. So that'll help us keep eyes on what's going on there in OIB as I come back over here to my Max 2 system and kind of highlight, similar to what Eric has been showing you here, the 2 warnings. So we're talking hundreds, actually probably a couple of thousand people in the midst of these 2 warnings. These storms are producing a lot of lightning, a lot of torrential downpours as well. So again, these are going until 6:15. The warning on the left for OIB, which likely the immediate danger is starting to wind down near OIB, but now I think the bigger concern is going to be moving over toward the Holden Beach area. So that's why we alerted you to that probably 5-10 minutes ago. Hey, if this holds together, this is something you need to be keeping top of mind about. And sure enough, that seems to be the case. So we're getting torrential rains, lots of lightning, and again, these are in this case with this warning for OIB, it was an observed water spout. And so we're waiting for additional information as it comes in. Let's broaden the view and kind of show you what else is going on around southeastern North Carolina. Other spots in the midst of some heavy showers and a couple of rumbles of thunder here or there, but definitely the biggest concern is coming on to Brunswick County. There are even spots up along Highway 17 that are about to get inundated here with some torrential rains. We're talking to the east and northeast of Charlotte, spots like Boiling Spring Lakes. You're going to be in the midst of some heavy downpours here too, but the center of the rotation, or at least the primary area of concern that has sparked this tornado warning, is along the Brunswick County coast. I'll flip back over here and get the latest velocity scan, as that has likely updated here in the last couple of minutes. And I'll tell you what, it's some tight rotation here, right along, like basically sandwiched between Holden Beach and Ocean Isle Beach. I'm sure you guys are seeing that as well.
Yeah, we were just looking at the coalition coefficient, Gabe, just to give you an update. I can't really make out any debris at this point, but that is something. But the tight rotation that we're seeing, tighter rotation that we're seeing, and there's definitely some good gate-to-gate shear on that tornado as it's coming ashore right now. So a real concern, certainly, with that.
Ocean Boulevard West is one of those spots that is pretty much right along that boundary line. Okay, it looks like we got a new sweep in here, and so that has now progressed. Again, these aren't moving very quick, maybe 15 at the most, 20 miles an hour, but now has moved north of Ocean Boulevard West toward Oyster Harbor Parkway southwest. As I just continue to sort of drive the ship here
The Monogram community, as mentioned, the Fulford community is going to want to be on alert here in the next probably 5 to 10 minutes. Holden Beach proper, this area still remains off to the west. And at this point, it might be, as I jump back here to go take a look at Ocean Isle Beach just to see what the latest look is here from the camera, that might just be out of camera view now. So I want to go back and just and double check that here while we've got a second. There you go. Thank you guys. You've got it pulled up here on the screen. It's certainly some low hanging clouds, and yeah. To John's point, he's sitting over here. He's looking at this and he's going, "Wow, these are this is some incredible footage that we're seeing." From the eyeball test here, it's hard to certainly discern any fully formed funnel or former water spout or anything that looks tornadic or any kind of debris or anything like that. But it is still certainly a potent and powerful storm here that we're dealing with.
It's almost like it's right behind that house, that set of houses there
Yeah.
on the right-hand side, right along the coast there, that an area that you guys were looking at before.
Exactly, but just as the way camera angles work, it's an optical illusion. So we're talking something that's a mile
and
or
it's,
two.
it's definitely moved further east at this point too. It's
Down the
definitely
way.
more towards Holden Beach, and it's even come ashore there. But looks like the rotation's weakened a little bit, but still very much there. As if we go back to Max 1 here, I've got to look at the storm track here, and again, a lot of smaller communities on the map here as we move a little bit further away from the beach. And I don't know if there's any, Ella might see if there's any new rotation that we're seeing other than this particular cell, but I think this is the main game in town right now, and you can see some of the storm track, 601 Secession, you've got Clivetown 604, Varmantown 609. So if you're in any of these towns right now, very important that you are moving to that interior room we've been talking about on the lowest floor, and obviously flying debris is going to be the biggest danger by far with these storms. But in addition to, of course, the tornado threat, we've been looking at a lot of localized heavy rain too with these cells. They're prolific rain producers, and amazing that we were able to get that visibility as well as we were. Gabe. I was actually really surprised considering how much precipitation there is in these particular thunderstorm
And
cells.
isn't that in the same general area where a water spout came on shore a couple of years ago and touched down on the golf course and ended up taking lives?
Yes.
So this is the same area of Brunswick County we're talking about, roughly the same area.
Not too
that we've
far
had
away.
in the
You're right.
past,
Not too far away. Don't think the rotation quite as strong on that one, but still, I don't want to discount it. There's still very much rotation with this. I don't think we've had a new update, at least
We
as
have
of yet,
not.
from the National Weather Service. We'll check out here. I think we have an update here as a 541. Special marine warning, but that doesn't really impact us at this point here. And again, we'll just go ahead and kind of give you a reset here, just kind of show you the tornado warning area here. And again, as it stands right now, we have 2 tornado warnings in effect. One of them, the Ocean Isle 1 Beach one has not been canceled as of yet. It does look like a lot of the rotation has now moved away from Ocean Isle Beach. We're a little more concerned now, obviously, about in areas in and around Holden Beach at this point. Let's see here. Yes, we still have the tornado warning. So again, 2 separate warnings. The first one for Ocean Isle Beach, that one's in effect until 6 o'clock. And then the second tornado warning that was issued, the one we're a little more concerned about at this point, including the Holden Beach area. Again, definitely some rotation in and around Holden Beach now coming ashore and moving northward. It does look like that rotation is starting to weaken as it moves its way northward here. And as we take a look at the camera, I don't, again, definitely, you can definitely see the darkness, but I can't really make out anything coming down. But of course, Ocean Isle Beach, we're not seeing as much rotation as we are closer to Holden Beach. And remember, the tornado warning actually extends all the way down almost to Oak Island. Oak Island technically not in the tornado warning, but just to the west of Oak Island, you are in the tornado warning area. It does look like the rotation is kind of shifting eastward at this point. I'm not seeing anything offshore. Gabe, you've been kind of looking at the radar. Are you seeing anything offshore that's really concerning at this point?
Nothing that is offshore that's not just seemingly a little bit of clutter close to the radar site. Like you mentioned, the big area of concern is this rotation, and oftentimes you'll see this. In some of these weaker cells or these minimal water spouts that form offshore, is by the time they make their way to land, they sort of break apart. That rotation loosens, and so it's not as conducive for those things to hold together. A little different in tropical storms. We are in the midst of the Atlantic hurricane season, and that's one thing we talk about are spin-up tornadoes. Those things that form really quickly, maybe a few scans, and then they disappear. This certainly doesn't have that that kind of signature to it, the way that this is moving. But anytime we have an offshore waterspout, it's always a concern for us. Sometimes, you know, as unfortunate as the situation may be, they don't often get warned. So it's nice to see that this is getting some warning, and that, you know, obviously folks are staying safe. So hats off to our colleagues over at the National Weather Service office here in town.
I have to say, if we go back to Max 1 here, the rotation that we were tracking is looking a lot looser at this point right here. You can see this is kind of what's left of it. It has definitely ramped down here compared to some of the images we were seeing about 15 minutes or so ago. Not to say that this still couldn't possibly produce a tornado, but it doesn't look, it looks like the rotation has kind of broadened out a little bit, and it's not quite as strong. Elodie, are you seeing something?
So we just got an update, and the one tornado warning will be allowed to expire at 6 o'clock, and that's going to be for the Ocean Isle Beach.
Right.
So that initial warning, that will be allowed to expire at 6 o'clock. However, we still have that ongoing warning that includes places like Holden Beach. That is going to run until 6:15 unless we get another update.
Yeah, and there's still some rotation there. I mean, we're saying the good news is it looks like the rotation is not nearly as strong. We're not seeing the gate-to-gate shear we were seeing, say, 5-10 minutes ago. However, there is still some pretty broad rotation in the area, and I think until we see evidence that rotation is really going to break up, they're probably going to continue this tornado warning for the Holden Beach area.
Yeah, real quick, just since they are going to allow that to expire, I will say if anyone is, you know, in the warning for OIB, if you're there, you can come out of your safe space. I want to make that clear. So you guys are pretty much in the clear of things right now, but more so toward, like we mentioned, between Holden Beach and the Monogram communities, Fulford, Secession, those communities, you want to stay hunkered down still for the next, we'll say 15 plus minutes as this warning goes through. Again, we do have the benefit of this is a little weaker on some of the latest scans, but we also want to sound the all clear where the all clear is coming through. So spots like Ocean Isle Beach, you guys should be good to come out of your safe spaces.
One thing I will say with these water spouts that are coming ashore, you know, whenever you think of that typical tornado warning, they have that hook shape. And that's what we have been seeing with some of these cells, that typical structure that you see whenever you think about a tornado warning. And that's what is indicated on radar whenever we talk about a hook shape.
Yep, absolutely right, Ella. That's textbook meteorology right there that we're looking at. So happy to be able to pass that knowledge onto you at home, as you're probably thinking, oh, why are they just looking at these two, you know, colors back and forth? Well, it helps us detect that rotation. That's what base velocity is. We're looking at the base levels here and able to do that. We can go up a little higher in the atmosphere when we're looking at the relative velocity of these storms. That's what this product is. So the color value is a little similar. We're looking at a different slice of the atmosphere, though. And I believe, Eric, you had checked in on what we internally call the debris detector. The scientific name for it is the correlation coefficient.
Right.
And, you know, not seeing anything here within the last couple of scans, or really anything here that is, you know, indicative of perhaps some major damage, or even, you know, any major debris that would be flying. You see the scale that we're working with here. If we're starting to see some more differently shaped things,
so like some blues in there,
and
that would be a concern. See a little bit of blue there offshore, but it kind of, you know, falls apart a little bit here as it comes ashore, and that happens oftentimes. Oftentimes with water spouts, there's a really strong signature right as they're coming in, even right along the coast, and then they tend to, not always, but they do tend to weaken pretty quickly as they move further inland. Not always, but usually, and it seems like this one is. It does seem like we're not seeing as well-defined rotation as what we were seeing. Other hazards, you can still see there's some heavy rain, a lot of lightning. Obviously, you need to be inside in your safe space if you're in Holden Beach. The lightning itself of danger, of course. We always need to mention that as well.
I get concerned about lightning strikes, especially ones that, you know, we see it happen here all the time. They quickly can spark fires. Not to mention just the hazards of being out in the water, you know, around metal objects outside. It's a big concern. So that's why inside is best in these kind of situations, certainly during tornado warnings, which we're actively seeing now. But as you can see, the other warning off to the west near Ocean Isle Beach, a lot of that activity is winding down. So here in the next minute or two, you're going to see that polygon here. You notice the outline here in yellow. That's something we look here internally at. And that is to kind of help us identify what kind of, and there you go, the polygon is just
It is
disappeared. But we look at that internally just so you get an idea of what we're looking at as to what kind of tornado warning this is. So if we get just a baseline tornado warning, it's going to be red. If it's yellow like this helps us know that, hey, this is something that is observed. And so that's ultimately what you're seeing here is confirmation that this warning is based off of something that is observed. I guess the next camera, if we want to check Southport, I'm hoping the camera is.
Yeah, our system has temporarily gone down. We're trying to get it back.
Yeah.
We'll ride with you for just a moment, Gabe.
To Max 2 over here, and we'll continue to monitor things here. So top of the hour, 6 o'clock, we do have an active tornado warning. If you're just joining us for WECT News at 6, we are in continuous coverage here for an active tornado warning for coastal Brunswick County, including Holden Beach, really just to the west of Oak Island, this triangular polygon shape that you're seeing on your screen, Varnamtown included in this, until 6:15. Again, these are observed waterspouts that have come ashore, so it's very similar to basically what you would expect if like a tornado were observed on the ground, but it was an observed waterspout that's basically moved ashore, and so that's what's being triggered here as the tornado warning. So this is going to go for another 15 minutes. We're going to continue our coverage here until we get the all clear from the National Weather Service. Again, if you are in spots, Varnamtown, even nearing, if this does hold together, spots like Lennon Crossroads, smaller communities there, you're going to want to be on the lookout. This is affecting about 1,500 people, and we're in tourist season, so there are some others that may not be accounted for here in these numbers that we're looking at, but still an active situation as we take you here to the top of the 6 o'clock hour.
Gabe, I just wanted to kind of, since we're at the top of the hour, just kind of want to do a reset just to show everybody the tornado warning area, just so we're clear on that. It does include Holden Beach, as you mentioned, Varnamtown. Of course, remember, this is a very similar area to a big tornado that came through several years ago. Again, it looks like tonight this is a much weaker system, but again, still some broad rotation as of the last check on the radar. But again, if you're in Holden Beach, Varnamtown, this is a tornado warning still in effect until 6:15. And remember that you need to, of course, as we've been mentioning, we have to keep reminding people, do not try to go outside and view this as a very dangerous situation. You want to, of course, move to an interior room. Again, most people don't have basements around here, but interior room, lowest floor, protect your head, protect your neck, and stay away from windows.
One thing it's important to mention that this is during really peak commute times when people are trying to head home. So that's also something to make sure you're staying cautious of. There's lots of rain associated with the cells. It has been rather soggy over the past several days, so ponding on roadways does remain of concern, even the chance for some poor drainage flooding.
Yeah,
as well.
flood advisories have been, and even some flash flood warnings recently, just with all the heavy rain. That is another danger. We mentioned the lightning a few minutes ago. Gabe, you're watching the base velocity. Any indications of this thing tightening up, or does it still look pretty loose at this point?
I'll tell you what, compared to what came on shore, Eric, this is looking a lot looser. And that's a good thing. That's a good sign if you maybe have storm anxiety, and that's totally understandable. This is loosening, and so looking at some of the wind speeds, we, like we said, track inbound motion toward the radar and motion outbound from the radar. So what you're seeing outbound from the radar is here in red, and we're talking the velocity of like 19 miles an hour, about 6 meters a second as far as the shear is concerned here. And then some of the inbound velocity toward the radar about the same, right? So, but it's very, very broad in terms of its rotation. You saw some of the, I guess the easiest way to describe it is if you've been looking at the map, you see some of those brighter colors in a closer proximity.
Right, exactly.
Those are the areas that are
concerned.
Really concerning to us as we pass the eyeball test. But this is loosening.
And to be fair, it did look a little bit that way when it was
sure.
coming ashore at Holden Beach, but you can definitely see a very different scenario than what we're talking about, say, 10 or 15 minutes ago.
Ella, do you have anything?
As of now, no update from the National Weather Service. We should be getting one here shortly.
Probably being conservative. They want to be sure that rotation goes away. They don't want to drop the tornado warning and then have to reissue another one. And I don't think we've seen anything offshore of concern at the moment. We've been watching, but I don't think there's any. I haven't seen any new rotation offshore, at least recently, that would be of huge concern. It's looking better on that front. There's still a special marine by the way, there is a special marine warning off of so obviously you don't want to be boating or anywhere near a boat at this point, along the beaches of Brunswick County. That special marine warning actually extends all the way off the coast of Oak Island, by the way, so it basically runs from Holden Beach to Oak Island. So obviously no boating, at least for quite a while.
I'll tell you what, just anything outside right now with the rainfall and this is a lot of heavy rain, and these are spots like you mentioned, Eric. We're not hurting in the rainfall department. Let's be blunt about that. We started the year in a drought, and we have more than made up for that here with a surplus here for mid-August. And this is just additional rain. So yeah, poor drainage, flooding, obviously lots of cloud to ground lightning that we're looking at in here. One thing that I'm relieved to see is that we're not getting any signs of hail or any reports of hail in that, so that helps. But of course, the wind, circling all around this is a big concern. But yeah, if I'm in central Brunswick County, obviously I'm still hunkered down. If I'm in Holden Beach, if I'm in Varnum Town, if I'm in any of these areas, if you know your geographical location, and you're in this triangle here, this warning polygon, you should be hunkered down. So near Varnum Town and areas off to the north, we're trying to get some streets in here just to give you an idea. Lake Drive southwest, Stone Chimney Road southwest. Looks like Clubhouse Drive is another one of those. Sunset Harbor Road just outside of that. Let's see, Sabbath Home Drive. There's a lot of areas in here. Long story short, too late, and forgive me as I go off on several tangents here as we track these systems. It's intense rain regardless. So poor drainage, flooding is something we're concerned about with this, in addition to the rotation. And as we sort of transition eventually out of this tornado warning, I think that's going to be the bigger concern here, is ponding on the roads, maybe some spots that you're going to have some trouble getting to in the next probably hour or so if it's having some problems draining off.
Yeah, we could probably take a look. If we could go back to a Max 1, might be worth looking at some of the rainfall that we've seen. Obviously, we've been tracking a lot about the rotation here, but as we take a look at some 3-hour rainfall totals, they should pop up here in just a second. And yeah, you can see there's some respectable totals here. You can see closing in on an inch, particularly in western portions of Brunswick County, and you can see some solid totals here. Well over a half inch, I imagine, in many of these areas. We're probably even closing in on an inch. But when that much rain comes down in a short period of time, you can certainly get, as you mentioned, ponding on the roadways, and that may be the biggest concern at this point. I'm still not. It still looks like to me, as I take a look at the latest image here, as we take a look at the latest velocity scans, that this rotation continues to broaden out, and I don't think the speeds are even what we were seeing maybe even a few minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. So that is a benefit. I'm going to try to pull up. We have a system in here that will sort of calculate some of the rainfall amounts from various, locations here. I've got, I think, the top ones here by county. Maple Hill thus far with over 2 inches of rain here since midnight. OIB has picked up an inch, and I would suspect if this is, I don't have the latest time on this as far as when this last observation was, but based on what has just rolled through Brunswick County, would not be surprised that goes up, if not taking the top spot here this evening. So that's just what we're kind of taking a peek at here internally. It's just a little a cheat sheet, if you will, as far as some of those rainfall tallies. So let's get a broader view here. Let's go out across the Carolinas, other spots around the area dealing with showers and storms. Really coastal Carolina, southeastern North Carolina, even down just to the south of Myrtle Beach, off the coast of Georgetown County, dealing with some heavy downpours there as well. But the big concern is for us here in southeastern North Carolina along Brunswick County. This is where this initial warning came in here near Ocean Isle Beach, and now the concern has migrated farther to the east. As we look at the rainfall, observe the lightning. Again, one of the many hazards we look at. We look at impacts and not necessarily labels. Okay, we've got a new scan in here, and this is to be expected with scans. Every once in a while, we get a new scan that's maybe a little more succinct, a little tighter in this case, and that seems to be the case here. I would say the primary danger now has crossed the 130 corridor. So spots in the Monogram community, you're still dealing with heavy rain spots in Holden Beach proper. I'd say the biggest concern is probably past you as far as the rotation, but given the lightning and the heavy downpours, I would be remaining inside for the time being. So coming up here, I believe, on
6:09 now,
on
so we got
6:09.
5 minutes essentially left on this warning. I would probably guess they're not going to extend it, but we will certainly continue to watch this. But again, certainly some broad rotation, as you mentioned, in the vicinity of Highway 130. It looks like even the rotation is starting to almost move out of the warning area.
And that's what I have to wonder. These next few scans, Eric and Ella, you guys can vouch for this because we watch this all the time. These next few scans will be important. If they stay like this, hey, there might be an argument to possibly extend this warning up a little bit up near Highway 17. If the next couple of scans are looser in that amount of time, might be cause to say, hey, this is not a concern. Or if they can get some ground truth observations through the National Weather Service, that may help.
And the fact that this storm, we know already for a fact, has generated a waterspout might make them a little more conducive towards extending something, just because this system actually has a history of producing some of the waterspout that we know of, and as we know, it came ashore.
Yeah, right, you are. And of course, our colleagues at the National Weather Service, are working hard to keep a track of this, and also to make sure weather radios go off, to make sure, even the GPS locations with your WECT First Alert weather app are sounding if you are in that warning polygon. If you're maybe somewhere else in Brunswick County and you're using a NOAA weather radio, maybe you're up in Leland, maybe you're, someplace up that direction, Boiling Spring Lakes, and you've got a weather radio, even Southport, and it's gone off. Remember, those are county-based alerts. And they're great to have, mind you. Cannot, emphasize enough the need, in addition to your WECT First Alert weather app, to have a NOAA weather radio. But the nice thing about the First Alert weather app is that those are GPS targeted. So if you are in that polygon and you have those alerts set to follow you and to go off, you will get notified. 130 is kind of our benchmark here. Mount Pigza Road near Civvytown. Stay hunkered down there, and it looks like Stone Chimney Road southwest. If you are not hunkered down there between Highway 17 and we'll say that little stretch basically there of 130 that heads to the south pretty much down to Holden Beach, I would be in your safe space. As far as the rotation's concerned, we should get another sweep, and there's the next sweep that is.
And that looks a little weaker, but again, we have the one concern, Gabe, would be that this whatever was left of this rotation is now starting to move northward towards Highway 17. So that certainly is going to be a concern,
especially on the evening commute. You're going to have a lot of people moving in and out of Charlotte, that area. It's highly populated, so lots of people on the road. So that adds an extra concern as well.
Yeah, I'm going to pop the polygon here and just see where we're at.
So
actually,
it's already pretty much out, and we're almost at 6:15 right now. So the decision's coming one way or another here in the next few minutes.
Yep. So we'll have that for you here. In the event that the warning is canceled, just to give you the little inside baseball as to what's going to happen. More than likely, what's going to happen is they'll put an SPS, or a special weather statement, on this particular cell rather than continue the tornado warning.
Fact, we just got that special weather statement. In fact, I'll go ahead and read it right now. At 6:12 p.m., Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm cable producing a land spout. So a land spout different than a tornado in the sense that it originates from the ground. Still can be, so I guess they're kind of taking the middle ground here. They're saying there could be a little bit of rotation, but probably not quite enough to really qualify as a tornado. Sure. And that is over Clivetown or near Holden Beach, moving northeast at 15 miles per hour. And again, they think the winds could be in the neighborhood of about 40 miles per hour with that particular land spout. So it looks like they're probably not going to be extending the tornado warning. Is that official now?
Yep, they're going to expire the tornado warning at 6:15. So that's in about.
So in 2 minutes we will be out of this tornado warning, Gabe.
Okay. Yep. So you've got the special weather statement here. I've got it kind of cross-referenced here with the balance of that warning. So basically, folks, you can go ahead and start to emerge from your interior room. Obviously, the spots we want you to go in the midst of a tornado warning, as this is pretty much going to be outside of the polygon. But interests in central Brunswick County, you guys need to stay weather aware. Basically, spots here in this blue section here, I always have these highlighted here whenever we have these special weather statements to give kind of an extra heads up. Spots like Bolivia, BSL, you guys as well, and the Town Creek community, maybe even up toward Leland here if these trends continue on. But just want to give you guys a heads up here that certainly if we don't have anything that's rotating or on the ground, we could certainly still have some active weather. So I'm told we have actually a shot from Ocean Isle Beach from the weather cam. It's about a minute time lapse showing some of the rotation. Obviously, we aren't able to really see the the water spout, per se, like not anything confirmed on here, so we'd have to get that obviously verified through other channels. But I think that's what you're. Okay, so they're working on getting. We'll work to bring you that footage here eventually, as we have just another handful of seconds here left in this warning. What we're going to do once this warning officially clears, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back for the balance of WECT news at 6 o'clock. Want to get your headlines taken care of, possibly an update here on the weather forecast, and we'll get you buttoned up, get you into nightly news. Should things get worse again, and it looks like that warning has now dropped, we'll get you back into regularly scheduled programming for the evening. But still, we're staying weather aware for the rest of the night.